The zoo campus in the late afternoons always cloaks itself in a peaceful and mystical beauty. The lemon-yellow sunlight of the morning has now given way to honey-colored sunset rays, spreading shimmering carpets of light through every leaf. For little Henry, every footstep in this vast garden is an opening page of a fairy tale. And in that colorful world, Dad Thomas and Mom Mary are always the most wonderful guides. Without any loud scolding or rigid strictness, the way parents teach Henry is like a soothing melody. Dad Thomas is always a sturdy ancient tree, using his stillness and calmness to shelter and remind his son of safety boundaries. Meanwhile, Mom Mary is like a soft autumn cloud, using whispering stories overflowing with love to water the little boy's soul. Today, Dad Thomas looks incredibly warm in a light gray thin sweater and sand-colored khaki pants. Mom Mary walks gently, her pastel pink pleated skirt fluttering softly with the rhythm of the wind. Henry trots happily in between, his sky blue t-shirt and tiny baseball cap making him look exactly like a little explorer eager to discover the world. As the sun began to set, the whole family stepped into the night house, an area dedicated to nocturnal animals. The lighting inside was reduced to a minimum, with only dim, deep blue lights imitating moonlight. The surroundings were incredibly quiet. Henry was holding Mom Mary's phone, on a mission to take pictures of the animals to show his grandmother. Behind the clear glass, a lemur with big, sparkling round eyes was clinging to a dry branch. Seeing how adorable the lemur was, Henry hastily raised the phone. Because it was too dark inside, the boy accidentally touched the flash button. A blindingly bright white light flashed brilliantly in the darkness. The lemur startled in panic, squeezing its eyes shut and cowering to hide in a deep hidden corner of the tree trunk. Right as the flash went off, Dad Thomas' large, warm hand gently enveloped the phone in Henry's hand, covering the lens. Dad slowly lowered his son's hand. His eyebrows furrowed just a little, his eyes showing worry but remaining incredibly calm. He was not angry at all, just pressing his lips together slightly and looking at his son with caring guidance. "My dear Henry," Dad Thomas' voice rang out incredibly warm, echoing softly in the quiet space. "We do not use light to take pictures here. You just scared our lemur friend." Henry looked a little bewildered. He blinked his big round eyes, whispering sweetly, "But it is too dark. I could not take a picture. I just borrowed a little light so he would appear, Daddy." Mom Mary stepped over gently, her pink skirt rustling very softly. She squatted down to her son's eye level, her soft hands enveloping Henry's tiny hands. Her eyes were as gentle as water, brimming with deep empathy. "My sweet Henry," Mom Mary whispered, her voice as soothing as a lullaby. "Try closing your eyes and imagining this. When you are sleeping very soundly in a pitch-black room, suddenly someone turns on a very bright flashlight and shines it straight into your eyes. Would you feel blinded, hurt, and startled?" Henry hurriedly closed his eyes to imagine, then gave a slight nod. "Yes, Mommy, my eyes would sting and I would cry." "That is right, my love," Mom stroked his soft hair. "The eyes of nocturnal animals are very special. They are used to living in the dark to see everything clearly. The phone's flash to them is like a blinding bolt of lightning that hurts their eyes and disorients them. We are visiting their home, so let us keep the peaceful darkness so they do not get hurt. We can use our own eyes to remember the image of the lemur instead of using a phone. Do you agree?" Henry nodded firmly. The boy obediently handed the phone back to his mother. He stood on his tiptoes, pressed his hands against the glass, and said very softly, "I'm sorry, lemur friend. I will not turn on the light to blind you anymore." Dad Thomas smiled, gently rubbing his son's back with pride. Leaving the nocturnal animal area, the family entered the open bird garden. Here, the birds were allowed to fly freely through the canopy instead of being kept in cages. The air was incredibly fresh and filled with joyful chirping. Henry was holding a small water bottle, whistling as he walked. Suddenly, from a high branch, a South American macaw with brilliant red and blue feathers swooped down. The bird flew right over Henry's head, creating quite a loud flapping sound and a gust of wind that brushed past the boy's hair. The sudden appearance of the giant bird startled Henry into a panic. The natural reflex of fear made the boy squeeze his eyes shut, raising the water bottle in his hand high, intending to swing it hard into the air to shoo the bird away. But before the water bottle could be swung, a steady hand caught Henry's tiny arm. Dad Thomas stood right behind, pulling his son into a full embrace. Dad gently held his son's hand, his face serene and protective. He smiled kindly, his eyes shining with peace to dispel the fear in the little boy's heart. "Henry, it is okay. Daddy is right here," Dad Thomas said in a deep, warm tone, full of reassurance. "We do not use things to hit the bird friends, my boy." Henry opened his eyes wide, his lips quivering slightly because he was still startled. He hugged his father's leg tightly. "The bird is so big, Daddy. He was going to peck my hair. I just wanted to chase him away." Mom Mary came closer, hugging her son's slightly cowering shoulders. She pointed toward the macaw, which was now perching peacefully on a nearby branch, tilting its head to look at the family. "Henry, look at the macaw friend," Mom Mary said in a sweet voice, her eyes crinkling in a very gentle smile. "He was not going to peck your hair. He saw that your blue shirt was as beautiful as the sky, so he flew down to say hello. Flying birds are like little breezes. If you raise your water bottle to hit him, he will think you do not want to be friends and he will be very sad." Mom stroked her son's arm, which was still holding the water bottle. "When a bird flies by, instead of being scared and shooing it away, you just need to stand perfectly still like a sturdy little tree. The bird will fly past as gently as a falling leaf. Loving animals begins with us not scaring them. Can you try being a little tree for Mommy to see?" Listening to his mother, Henry lowered the water bottle, stood up straight, closed his eyes, and let his arms hang loosely by his sides. The macaw on the branch let out a cheerful squawk that sounded so pleasant. Henry opened his eyes and smiled. "Being a tree is really fun, Mommy. The macaw friend is singing for me." Dad Thomas nodded slightly, giving Mom Mary a warm look full of love. The tour continued, leading the family to the artificial swamp area, home to the giant crocodiles. The water surface was still, and the crocodiles looked like floating logs, only blinking occasionally. Just then, a zookeeper walked over carrying a bucket of food. It was feeding time. The keeper took out a clean, prepared raw chicken and tossed it into the water. A crocodile immediately lunged forward, opened its giant jaws full of sharp teeth, and swallowed the chicken whole with a resounding snap of natural survival. That wild and somewhat raw scene unfolded right before Henry's eyes. The 6-year-old boy had never witnessed anything like it. The surprise and the feeling of pity for the chicken sent Henry into a state of shock. The boy took a step back, his eyes wide open in panic. Then, suddenly, Henry burst into sobs. He covered his face with both hands, his lips pouting. "The crocodile is so mean. Why did he eat the chicken friend? Poor chicken friend, Mom and Dad. I do not like the crocodile." His son's cries made Dad Thomas' heart ache. Dad did not forbid his son from crying because he understood the fragility of a child's soul. Dad stepped forward, sat all the way down on the ground, and wrapped his large arms completely around Henry, pulling him into his chest. Dad rubbed his son's back very slowly, his chin resting lightly on the top of his son's head. "Cry it out, my boy. It is okay. Just cry a little if you feel sad." Dad Thomas comforted him in a deep, steady voice, like a peaceful harbor. "I know you are very surprised, but the crocodile friend is not mean at all." Mom Mary knelt beside them, gently using a handkerchief to wipe away the tears rolling down Henry's cheeks. She lifted her son's chin, her eyes looking at him with immense empathy. "My sweet Henry," Mom Mary whispered, her voice like a melody soothing all fear. "I understand you feel sorry for the chicken friend. Your heart is very warm. But you know, the natural world has very special survival rules that we call the circle of life." Mom pointed toward the crocodiles swimming in the pond. "The rabbit friend eats carrots. The giraffe friend eats leaves, because their tummies are made to digest plants. But the crocodile friend, or the lion friend, has a different kind of tummy. They need to eat meat to get healthy and grow up. Just like how you really love eating the chicken soup or beef stew that Mommy cooks so you can grow tall and strong." Mom gently smoothed her son's messy hair. The crocodile friend is not mean, he is just eating his lunch. The chicken friend helps the crocodile friend fill his tummy so he can keep living. That is how Mother Nature arranges it so all animals can survive, and the forest is always balanced. When we understand that, we will see that nature is not scary at all but very magical. Do you remember how delicious the lotus seed chicken soup you ate yesterday was? Henry slowly stopped crying. His mother's gentle, relatable explanations helped the boy connect it to his own meals. He wiped his tears, sniffling and nodding yes. The chicken soup Mommy cooks is very yummy. Well then, the crocodile friend is also eating his own chicken soup right now. Dad Thomas smiled, gently pinching his son's nose with love. Let us wish him a good lunch, and then we will go eat some chocolate ice cream, okay? Henry's eyes brightened up a bit. The boy took a deep breath, turning to look at the crocodile swimming slowly in the water. He raised his tiny hand and waved, "Have a good lunch, crocodile friend." Under the afternoon sun that was gradually softening, the silhouettes of the family of three walking together stretched long on the zoo path. Without any heavy punishments or tense scolding, Dad Thomas and Mom Mary used their steady calmness and empathetic love to write beautiful lessons. They taught little Henry how to love with respect, how to preserve the peace of all things, and how to accept the natural world with an open, gentle heart.